Hi, I'm Tamara Lackey, and in this episode of reDefine show for Adorama TV, I sit down with Ami Vitale at PPE in New York City, National Geographic magazine photographer, photojournalist, fellow Nikon Ambassador. We talk about her extraordinary career in general and her defining work with pandas specifically. So adorable. Check it out. Hi, Ami.
Hi.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
Good. So we're here at PPE, Photo Plus Expo in New York City.
We are.
And we've been here for a while, so we're a little punchy.
That's true.
And you are not necessarily a big city aficionado, correct?
I am lost. Put me in the wild, I'm fine. But I'm late for everything. I can't judge the traffic times. It's too many people.
Too many people. Because you live in Montana.
I do.
Well, you're based in Montana.
Yeah, theoretically.
Theoretically.
Living there.
How much do you travel with your job?
This year has been horrendous. I think I've been home in a year about a month.
Wow, total.
And not all in one big
Right.
chunk.
You didn't move into one spot and stay. Where have you been just this year?
Oh gosh, China multiple times, Kenya multiple times. I can't even remember, but Germany most recently. I don't know.
Lots
it's all
of
a big
places.
blur. Yeah.
And obviously you've done so much work and so much beautiful work that many people pick up and share and love. But you kind of are known. I love that you're in black and white when I asked this, but as like the panda. The
Yes,
panda,
and I've got the
right?
circles
the panda
around my eyes too.
So, how did all that start?
That was a journey I started back in 2013, and I was part of this film crew to photograph the first captive panda being sent into the wild.
Right.
And it just captured my heart, and I couldn't let go, and I knew I had to do a story on this, and it ended up taking about 3 years to get the access and get all the images I needed.
3 years just to get the permissions.
To get permit, it's not easy working in China,
right?
And getting access is, for any story, it's all about getting good access.
Yeah.
And how you do that, it just takes time and trust and, a lot of patience. And so it was multiple trips because you had to capture all these different aspects of this incredible story. It's really a minor miracle. In fact, the panda has been taken off the Endangered Species list just a month ago. Which is
just like a month ago.
Just a month ago, which is, I know,
That's
it's an
amazing.
amazing thing, and I think we're just so used to...
Pandas, why would they be endangered? So what is the history with all that?
Yeah, so pandas, it turns out, weren't discovered. They're as elusive as Bigfoot. They were as mythical as Bigfoot. Nobody knew they even existed until the last 100 years. And the first one was only captured alive in 1936.
Oh.
And so we're so used to seeing them everywhere in cartoons. And they're just, I don't know if
they're prolific in that respect.
If there's any human that hasn't seen a panda. Or
Kung Fu Panda.
Exactly.
Right.
So we're so familiar with them, we can't imagine that they're this new to our lexicon.
Was it something that you were assigned to this job? You wanted to create this job? It was a personal project? You pitched it someplace?
The funny thing is, in the beginning, I almost turned the job down because I'm like, you know what? Pandas have been photographed a million times. What could I possibly do that's different? How can I make this story unique, right?
Yeah.
And that's the key. Everything's been photographed on the planet.
Right.
And I'm looking for unique topics.
Absolutely.
And so the more I started researching, the more I really dug into the story, I realized this is special, and there's a lot of things that haven't been told, and that's what really piqued my interest. But then once you figure out that there's these unique aspects, it's like, how do you get in?
Right.
And it wasn't, I had permission from the upper, parts, but the people weren't. They're very protective of the pandas because they're like $1 million babies, and it's
literally.
Literally, pandas get rented out to zoos for millions of dollars every year.
I did not know that.
Yep.
You are a font of panda knowledge.
So I have this photograph of Papa Panda with his bumper crop of baby pandas. I think it was like 20 or 23 pandas that were laid out on top of him. And if you think about it, it's like $1 billion picture.
Wow, wow.
Not $1 billion. maybe like 40,
well, if you're going to do math and everything. But yes.
So it was, he's like, hurry up, get these pandas back to their mothers, because they're just worried about their health.
And then, so a job like that where you go after it, is that something that you go to, because you do work for so many organizations, right? Like National Geographic. Who else?
A lot of conservation organizations.
Right.
So I'm really focused on, most of my work I really try to give back to the conservation world,
right,
and people that are making progress. And so there's, we're seeing species, and it's so funny because I always photographed people and photographed sort of...
Your least favorite species.
Right, like social issues and,
yeah,
human rights issues. And I really focused on that for the first 10 years of my career.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow lately I just realized how we're so intricately connected. And when one dies, so does the other.
Amen.
We need each other.
Yeah.
And I've really been focusing on all the critters that need our help now.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And then, so that job, did you pitch it to somebody, or did you just go shoot
it?
Okay.
I did. Yeah, getting back.
Yeah. That's okay. You go, and I'll just keep going.
So I went once, and I realized this is special. I have something special to say here. So I pitched it to National Geographic, and guess what? They said no, because they had done a story on pandas 7 or 8 years previously.
Okay.
And there's basically...
And pandas had been done.
They had been done. And well, there's a 10-year window with Nat Geo.
Oh, I did not know that.
So if a story has been done, anything sort of related to it, you need to wait about 10 years before we can revisit that topic. So I had to kind of convince them that I was going to do something a little bit different than had already been done.
Right, okay.
And so that took a lot of convincing. And then once they were in, I think people were on board and excited, and they ended up bumping up the page count by 6 pages.
Which is huge.
Which was huge.
Yes.
It was exciting. And it got published in the August issue, and it's online. And I have a cute little movie that will blow your mind. And if you're feeling depressed, just go visit it, because you realize the world is still a magical place.
Yes, the baby pandas. And we can show that here. So the baby pandas. First of all, was that a separate thing? The baby panda movie?
No. Well, I was shooting video the whole time.
Yeah. So you just got this amazing, adorable, melting
because you need
footage.
to hear them. You need to hear that, the sounds they make, and you'll die of cuteness overload. Right. Basically.
Right. And isn't there some piece or some article out there that says that humans have a reaction to baby pandas that feels like...
I think so. I think that I read that it's the same thing when a mother looks at her baby, that people have the same chemicals are released when people look at baby pandas.
Yeah.
Because they are that adorable.
Yeah.
And they're, that's why they're kind of this iconic animal that represent the whole conservation movement.
Yeah.
WWF.
And that is that another client too?
No, they're actually not a client.
They're not a client.
No,
but they're a good organization.
Be,
right. No kidding. And then, so the conservation thing, because you also have done a lot of work to showcase the harm of poaching.
Right. So the plight of a lot of, less charismatic species, the ones that aren't as
the ones
cute,
that don't make you melt.
Those are actually, people always say, what's your spirit animal? And I would say right now it is the rhino and elephants and frankly all these lesser known species that are going extinct in our lifetime. And we don't realize it, and I think people don't even understand how connected we all are and how important. I mean, once they're gone forever.
That's it,
and that's it. And so, I didn't understand how quickly it's happening in our generation, in our lifetime.
Right.
And I also feel quite hopeful. I have a certain amount of optimism. If China can save the panda from extinction, why can't we do it? You know, in some ways they hold the keys too.
Yeah.
For all these other species.
Right.
And everything's connected, and that's why I'm so focused right now on hopeful stories. I found places in northern Kenya where things are turning around and they're making strides. The numbers of black rhinos, for example, are starting to creep slowly back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do that, right? You're consciously focusing on showcasing the hope versus just the gore and the sorrow.
Absolutely,
right?
because I covered conflicts for about 8 years, and I realized that if you only, do you want to get out of bed in the morning when all you see is just gloom and just the worst parts of this planet? And the truth is, everywhere I go, I still see this magical world and people doing the right things, and I think that that's going to be what motivates action and change.
Thank you so much, Amy. Those pandas were just adorable. Check us out here next time on Adorama TV, and do not forget to subscribe to Adorama TV for all kinds of fuzzy, adorable content.